I'm 72 years old, and I want to say something that might make you uncomfortable. By the time you reach your 70s, you don't actually need friends the way you once did. That probably sounds sad, or lonely, or even dangerous to say out loud. Society tells us that growing old without friends means isolation, depression, and regret. That if you're alone, something must have gone wrong. But after living long enough to see how life really works, I've learned something most people don't understand until it's too late. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. And in many ways, after 70, it can be one of the most peaceful chapters of your life. I didn't always believe this. In my 30s and 40s, my calendar was full. Dinners, birthdays, work gatherings, favors, phone calls I didn't want to take but felt guilty ignoring. I thought that staying socially busy meant I was doing life right. That having lots of friends meant I was successful, connected, safe. But as the years passed, something strange started happening. People drifted. Not dramatically, not with arguments or slammed doors, just quietly. One moved away, another got sick. Some passed on. Others changed so much that we no longer recognized each other. At first I fought it. I tried to hold on. I made the calls. I organized the lunches. I showed up. And then one day, I stopped. Not because I was bitter, not because I didn't care, but because I was tired. And because I realized something important. Most of my friendships were built for survival, not for peace. Let me explain. Reason 1. You finally stop performing. When you're young, friendships often come with expectations. You're expected to show up a certain way, to laugh at certain jokes, to agree, to listen, even when you're exhausted, to keep up. After 70, that energy is gone. And honestly, so is the patience for pretending. I noticed that when I stopped forcing myself into social situations, I felt lighter. I didn't have to explain myself. I didn't have to impress anyone. I didn't have to talk just to fill silence. For the first time in my life, I could simply be. And that quiet felt better than any crowded room ever had. Reason 2. Most friendships fade naturally, and that's not a failure. Nobody tells you this when you're younger. But most friendships are temporary. They're tied to workplaces, neighborhoods, shared struggles, or shared stages of life. When those stages end, the friendships often do too. I used to think that meant I had failed, that I hadn't tried hard enough, that I should feel ashamed. Now I see it differently. Some people are meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. After 70, you stop chasing people who are already walking away. And that acceptance brings an unexpected kind of peace. You stop asking, why don't they call anymore? And you start thinking, I hope they're doing well. That shift changes everything. Reason 3. Solitude becomes nourishing, not frightening. When you're younger, silence can feel threatening. It forces you to face yourself, your regrets, your fears, your unanswered questions. So you fill it with noise, conversations, distractions, people. But after 70, solitude feels different. By then, you've lived long enough to know who you are. You've made your mistakes. You've lost people. You've survived things you once thought would destroy you. Silence no longer scares you. It comforts you. Mornings alone with a cup of tea. long walks without conversation, sitting quietly and watching the day unfold. There is a deep satisfaction in that kind of simplicity, and it's something only age teaches you how to appreciate. Reason 4. You value depth over connection. When you're younger, friendships are often about quantity. How many people you know, how many calls you get, how full your social life looks from the outside. After 70, that illusion disappears. You don't want 10 shallow conversations. You want one honest one. You don't want company for the sake of company. You want meaning. For me, that ended up being a few people. Sometimes just one. Sometimes none for a while. And surprisingly, I didn't feel empty. I felt full, because I had finally learned to keep my own company. Reason 5. You stop tolerating emotional drain. This one is hard to admit. Some friendships are exhausting. They revolve around complaints, old arguments, jealousy, or unresolved resentment. When you're young, you tolerate it because you think that's what loyalty looks like. After 70, you don't have time for that. You become protective of your peace. If a conversation leaves you drained instead of calm, you quietly step back. Not with anger, not with drama, just with clarity. I've let go of people I'd known for decades, not because they were bad, but because being around them made me feel smaller, heavier, older. Peace becomes more valuable than history. Reason 6. You realize happiness was never in other people. This might be the hardest truth to accept. For most of my life, I believed happiness came from connection, from being needed, from being included. Now I understand something different. Happiness comes from alignment, from living at a pace that suits you, from doing small things that bring quiet joy, from waking up without dread, from going to bed without resentment. Some days that includes people. Many days it doesn't. And that's okay. After 70, you don't measure your life by how many people surround you. You measure it by how peaceful your days feel. Let me be clear. I'm not saying friendships are bad. I'm saying they are optional. And there is freedom in that realization. I still enjoy conversations. I still enjoy laughter. But I no longer fear being alone, because I've learned something most people never do. Being alone can be rich. It can be grounding. It can be joyful. Loneliness isn't about the absence of people. It's about the absence of peace. And peace is something you can cultivate on your own. If you're younger and listening to this, you might not understand yet. That's okay. I wouldn't have either. But if you're older and you've noticed your circle shrinking, your phone quieter, your days slower, let me tell you this. Nothing is wrong with you. You're not failing. You're evolving. You're shedding what you no longer need. And if you let it, this stage of life can be one of the calmest, clearest, most honest chapters you'll ever live. I don't have many friends anymore, but I have peace. And at this age, that feels like everything. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment. Tell me what solitude has taught you. Time is short. Noise is optional. Choose what brings you peace.